Okay, cool. All right, yep, perfect. So you got the Hello World program up and running. Alrighty, so now we're getting ready to do the next part of JavaScript. And we're going to do that thing that we did before where we're connected at the same time because that'll make our lives a lot easier. So if you go over to extensions, it's that oh sorry, it's on the left-hand side, those like four squares. Yep, that one perfect. Yep, and then you're just gonna type up live share. Yep, and then you'll install that first one.
All right. Like,
Perfect. All right, now I'm getting ready to send you a link. All right, go ahead and paste this. You're gonna copy this link. I just sent it in the Zoom meeting.
that's gonna throw me off for a second.
I feel it.
It's in the chat.
Yeah, it's in the Zoom chat.
You're right. It's a lot of writing. This book wants me to write letters. Did you write them? I'm not gonna write no letter. Did you do that part? No, not yet. I'm not saying anything in the chat.
In the Zoom chat?
Mm-mm. Hold on,
Uh,
I'll show you.
yeah, let me see. Might have sent it to the wrong room. Chat. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's why. There we go. Okay, I just sent it to you.
I'm in Open Visual Studio.
Open in Visual Studio Code. Yeah, that one right there. Yeah, and then
It's gotta be installed. I'm looking at it.
we launched. Allow. Yeah, hit open.
I opened it. I think I did at least.
Yeah, let me see. Click on the live share app again. Yeah, go to all the way to the left. That little arrow. Yeah, and the it should be right under those squares. Ah, there. Yeah. So hit join. And then if you just go back to the Zoom call chat, just click on that link again that I had sent. Almost done. Blah, 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 blah. Or try just copying that whole link, just copy it and then just paste it inside of the join portion in Visual Studio Code.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it should let you join. Yep, copy link. It says, hold on, joining collaboration session. Let's see what it says. Oh, you see in the bottom, that's what it was. In the you just had a pop-up that said in the bottom right hand. It was you could join anonymous or sign in, but it just disappeared on you. So click the if you go to that left-hand side again where it's live share, just click it twice. It should like yeah, close and then open it again. Open, hit it again. Or you can just click the link again in the Zoom link. But yeah, that's what it was. It's asking you to sign in. Mm-hmm. There we go. Yep, hit open. And then you might need to move that Zoom window out of the way. Yeah, because it's in the bottom right hand. Or maybe it's just stuck. Yeah, just go ahead and close Visual Studio Code. We're gonna do the good old turn off and then turn back on. That normally fixes
Jacket on, jacket off.
it. Jacket on, jacket off.
Let's close that. Close that one. Try it from jump.
Yep. Okay, opens it back up. Cool. Hit open. And then okay, cool. So you can either do anonymous or you can sign in with if you created your GitHub account, you can use that, or you can just go anonymous, either or. Yeah, GitHub. Yep, perfect. And then hit allow.
No, brother. Let's try this.
Yeah, do that. I'm gonna just grab some water real quick.
Yep.
Okay, can you hear me, okay?
Yep.
Cool, perfect.
Signed
Okay.
in. This is where it has me.
Perfect, perfect. All right, you should be able to go back to Visual Studio Code now.
Signing into GitHub.
Okay, yep, signing in. It should have authenticated you. If you go back to the web browser where it had you signing in.
Heat water. I should have one upstairs, but
Mhm.
right here.
Now that you're logged in, go ahead and just close Visual Studio one more time and then just click that link a third time.
Right.
It, sh it should be able to get you this time.
Nice. Give me. Let me try to move.
There you go. Yep, continue to site. Yep, authorize. Yep, and you can hit trust. Hey, all right, we in there. Alrighty. So this is ChatGPT clone animation. All right, we'll do new folder. Let's do I'll do JavaScript. Okay, what's the new folder? Let's do
Okay. Mhm.
data types. Cool. All right, so if you look on the left-hand side, oh, it already opened up for you, even better. Okay. So the first thing that we'll go over, it's gonna be, and here I'll take over the screen share from you. Yeah, replace current share. You can follow along just in a VS Code now that we got that up. I'll hit
Mhm.
screen share. And okay, cool. Yep, share my screen. The Zoom call. All right, perfect, cool. Alrighty. So the foundation, really in any program, right in any language, just like how with, English, you have letters, words, and all those things, the basic building blocks that'll kind of make up a language. Programming languages are the exact same way. So in JavaScript, you have data types. Every language has these, but
Mhm.
data types. So these are going to be the things that you can think of these like the basic building blocks, almost like letters and numbers, but correlating to a programming language. So these are like the basic kind of building blocks that a programming language will understand. So the first one is a string. So strings are just ways for you to be able to represent numbers, words, characters, letters, really anything that you would just see for like normal sentences. And the way that you represent them is with either double quotes or single quotes like this. And then you can literally type like anything inside of here. So like for instance, when you log into Instagram, like your username, you can have right all kinds of symbols in here, underscore, I'm dope, whatever at, right? Like that, but that kind of data is going to be stored inside of a string. So the way that we go about manipulating these to make things convenient are we put them inside of containers called variables. So to create a variable, you're just going to type right here on this line 6, say var, var, and then you'll do a space, and then you can say name, and you can do another space, equals, space, and then do the double quotes, and then you can just type your name inside.
And then
Yep.
enter.
Do another set of I can't see. I think the cursor is blocking it a little bit. Are there two sets of? Oh yeah, there are. Good. So at the very end, just do a semicolon. Yep. Perfect. And then instead of name, say my name. All one word. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Okay, dope. So let's break this down. So for a variable, so a variable again is just a container to store data. We'll say labeled container because I normally have a name. Okay, so now you said
Hey,
var,
Pete,
which lets
real
the
quick.
programming language. Oh yeah,
Give
go
me
ahead.
1 second. They're
Yeah.
finishing up the car.
Oh
I'll be
yeah,
right
yeah.
back.
Do you think?
Need help with anything? No. We got business handled, so that's all that matters. We got business handled, so that's really all that matters.
Clean dashboard. The
Oh, you
interior
clean?
front and everything.
That's nice, so that'd be clean.
Oh, you can take, somebody's gonna take her out.
Take your phone.
2 days.
Take tape off, and what else?
He takes the tape off tomorrow morning
We got power.
for 2 days.
Okay.
Alright, back to work.
We in okay.
We in there. Get in there. Alright.
Alrighty.
Variables, just a label container to store data.
Yes. So in JavaScript, this is the grammar or the syntax that you would use in order to create this container. So when you say var, you're just letting JavaScript know, hey, I'm getting ready to create a container or variable. Then whatever comes right after that is going to be the name of the container. So you're saying var my name. So you're saying create a variable called my name. You do the equal sign, and then whatever goes after the equal is what gets stored inside of your container. And then to let it know that you're finished with what you're doing on that line, you just put the semicolon.
Gotcha. So basically, what we just did was the variable and then the label for the variable being my
Hmm.
name. is sec.
Hmm.
So the label would be sec. So every time I'm guessing sec comes up in this, that's basically telling the computer that's my name.
Exactly. And you can see how this works by, so we'll go right here. And then
Mhm.
you remember we did this before. So on line 7, you can type console,
Like you might have to go upstairs.
Or
and then you'll say dot
constant
log,
dot log
and then the parentheses.
space or no space.
No space, just all together.
Oh
Now
yeah, log like man.
and then in the middle of these parentheses, now you can just type the name of the container. You'll say my name.
Oh, the
Perfect.
console log static method outputs a message to the oh this is yeah, like you said, same thing we did yesterday.
Yes,
And then
sir.
semicolon to end it.
Yep. And then you'll go down to the let me see here. If you go down to the terminal, which is just this space down here, it should be on the I think it'll be on the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, it has Michael Pope at yeah.
Perfect. So then in the terminal, you're gonna go ahead and, and I think you have access to my terminal. Let me see, make sure. Make read write and then focus terminal. Okay, cool. All right, yeah. So you're gonna say CD, which just stands for change directory inside the terminal. Yep, and then you'll do space, and then I have it in a folder called data type. So say data underscore types. Yep, and you can hit enter, and then you're gonna say node space, and then it'll be the name of this file, which is index.ts. Yep, and then you can hit enter. Perfect. And then you'll notice that it outputted
Yeah.
exactly what you put into your variable.
Interesting.
Yes, sir.
So does Node have a meme or is that basically like another console?
Yeah, so Node is it's what they call it is they call it a JavaScript runtime. Essentially, all it is what it means is it's the technology or the software that allows your computer to be able to read everything we just typed in here or any program really that's written
Mhm.
in JavaScript and then translate it into something that the computer can run. So without Node, if you try to feed JavaScript like this into your computer is going to be like, "What the hell is this, man? I don't
Mhm.
understand JavaScript." But when you run Node, it'll translate all of this into stuff that the computer can actually run. So it's
Gotcha.
like the
So
translator or the interpreter essentially for the computer.
right. That makes sense.
So then let's see. So if we can do, there's some other stuff we can do with strings. So we'll do another one. Let's do string concatenation. So you can take multiple different strings and like combine them and mess with them and do stuff with them. So we'll do a modification of this one, but with first and last name. So do the same thing. So create a variable right here on line 10 in the exact same way that you did my name, but this time just call it first name.
I don't have to do that.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, so that the two forward slashes that you see, those are just code comments. Those get ignored. They're just like helpful notes that you can put in your code. Yep, perfect.
Oh,
And
hold on.
then you'll just
No.
surround it, yeah, with the quotes. Perfect.
Mm, hmm.
Water.
That.
That's in this deep.
Yes, sir. Perfect. Okay, cool. And then you'll do create another variable right under
Mhm.
first name right here on line 11. And then you'll do the same thing with last name.
I need a space between first? No, because we didn't do a space for my name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perfect. So then here in our console log, so you've already got this set up perfectly. So before, so still staying inside of here with the parentheses, but after first name, you're going to say plus, and then you'll do a space, and then you're going to put in another set of double quotes, and then put a space, just an empty space in between the double quotes. And then after that second double quote, you're going to do another space and then say plus again. And then you'll do space, and then you can say last name. Perfect. And then we can go back to the terminal, and then you can run the whole node index.js again.
So do I do the data types too?
I think we're still in data types from the last time we did it, so you should be able to just do node space and then index.ts. Perfect. So this is what's called string concatenation, which is it's just where you can combine multiple different strings together in order to form one single string. So you got first name plus, and then you have the empty space here just so that it doesn't have your name without the spaces, and then you do the plus again, and then you got the last name displaying out, and then it works just like a charm.
Okay, I'm tracking.
Okay, so that's the basics when it comes to there's some other things you can do with strings, but I mean those are a lot of the basics right there. So I'll move on to the next data type of numbers. So we'll do create a variable again, and this time you'll just say var age. Oh, sorry. I think you're
Wrong
still in
place.
the terminal, yeah. Yep, var age, yep, and then we can do space. And then you'll do equals perfect. And then this time, because it's, yep, perfect. You don't need the double quotes because it's a number, so you can do it without, yep, perfect. And then the semicolon. Yep. And then you can do on the next line. So then let's go ahead and do a console log. Yep. And then you'll do the parentheses. Yep, perfect. And then right above it, let's do one more console log right here on line 17, and you'll say console log, and then you'll put the double quotes for a string on this one.
The double quotes.
Oh yeah, inside the parentheses for it. Yep, and then you can just say I am this old, I guess. This old, perfect. Yep, then you'll just put the semicolon at the end. Perfect. Yep, and then now we can go back to the terminal, and then we can run this again.
I'm typing. Wait, okay. All right.
Yeah, and then yep, perfect. Yep, and this old 25. Okay, solid. All right. So we got that. All right. Now let's do objects. So go objects. So for this one, you can do the same thing. So now you're going to say var person. And then you'll do, yep, the space, and then you'll say equals. Now this time, you're going to do the curly brackets. So it should be right above the, I think the double quotes on the keyboard. You normally have to hold shift. Yep, perfect. And then let's go ahead. and put space here. So now it's going to be similar to making variables, but it's all an object is really it's a way for you to take like a bunch of different data types and then put them grouped together inside of a single object. So like we've got first name, we've got last name, we've got your age, but they're all kind of just like floating around doing their own thing. If we wanted to put all of these under a single container called person, we can do that here. So what you'll do is you'll create the same kind of name. You can go ahead and say first name right here. Yeah, perfect. And then do a colon now after first name. And hold on 1 second.
Let me put the towel in the wash. No, thank you. So much.
Okay, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect, perfect. All right. Camera. Okay, cool. There we go. Alrighty. So after the colon, you can just do the exact same thing. You'll do double like a space, and then you can do double quotes, and you can put the first name.
Yeah.
8439. Yep. And then the way we'll separate it is instead of a semicolon, you'll do a comma. 604, 604, 606.
So pretty much now we're treating it like we would any other sentence, but we're staying within these fancy brackets.
Exactly. And so when you put it inside of those fancy brackets, that's letting it know, okay, you're creating an object. So it's like a container to hold other values and variables. And then instead of doing the semicolon, it has you do commas just because you're inside of an object.
Okay. And the way the object here would pretty much be the string. Or is
Mm-hmm.
that okay? I'm getting an idea. Getting an idea.
Yeah, you do. I was gonna say you get it quick, man. Yep, Clayton, and then yep, you can do age.
Right. Okay, right. That way I can walk it fine. Rolling thing is my head. The baby needs that.
Yep. And then that one will make a that's totally fine. You can put numbers inside of strings, but you can get rid of the double quotes, so we'll keep it as a number just to do
Oh
it.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then there's
Did they ever say why you don't need them for numbers, or is it just because numbers and code are pretty much the same anyways?
yeah, it's so the guy who made JavaScript, he literally, bro, he created this whole language in like 10 days, like the original version of it.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, I know it's insane work. So I don't know the exact reason why he did it, but yeah, he bro cranked it out in 10 days. So it's a phenomenal language. I love using it. It's very easy to use, but there's also a bunch of like weird like things that are just odd and wrong about the language because of that. So it's funny. Especially when you get to like dates and stuff like that, bro.
Hmm.
It's fun working with dates, but you'll see. So let's see here. All right, we got first name, we got last name, we got age. Okay, cool. So then if you do, so let's do a comma after the 25 right there. And then we're gonna do another value. So there's another, so we've done strings so far, we've done numbers. We're doing an object right now, so we're gonna introduce a new one. So you're gonna do space.
Yeah.
So this one is gonna be a Boolean. So we're gonna say
Gonna be a
is
who?
a Boolean. So in programming languages, another way that you can represent data is you can represent something as true or you can represent it as false. So like
Hmm.
if you think of like a light switch, right? Like current going, current not going, or even like with binary, the ones and the zeros.
Right.
They call it Boolean logic because oftentimes you'll need to represent in your program, hey, like is this circuit on? Is this circuit off? Did somebody turn the light on? Did they not turn the light on? So for this, we can do yours. We're gonna say is chilling and then make the C capital.
Yeah, make it do.
And then you can do it. It'll be all one word, no spaces.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And these right here.
Yep, perfect. And then you'll do the colon after the chilling.
Maybe I think I'm gonna make it.
And then you're literally just gonna type true. No double quotes or anything. After that, it'll be space and then true.
That is true.
Yeah, facts. Perfect. So then you'll do the semicolon at the end there.
Okay.
At the very end after even yeah, go perfect. All right, cool. All right, so
Yeah.
this is our, let me see what happens if I format. Will it put, okay, it keeps it on the same line. Okay, cool. So this is our object that we have. So now we can also do some conditional logic. So when you're doing programs, one of the things that you're going to use like super often is something called conditional statements. And we'll start out with doing if statements. So the way that if statements work are exec
Hypotheses, basically. So
yep,
under these
exactly.
circumstances, oh,
Exactly.
it's actually what it is, conditional logic. So under these circumstances, blah 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 blah.
Yep, exactly. Is true. Else do
You got win in there
execute.
twice.
Ah, thank you. Execute something else. I am illiterate today. I cannot spell.
I
There we
can
go.
only imagine how much like checking code is a pain if something's off.
Woo! Bro,
Like
so
for
listen,
one to not be there.
that's the hardest part is like, so you know, obviously what it is that you want to do when it comes to programming, but it's like explaining it to the computer. Zach, when I tell you, you could be missing a semicolon and it'll break the entire program, bro. Like that, like yeah, bro. I've spent days, legitimately days, looking for like a missing semicolon before.
No, that's crazy.
Let me see. Let's
I
do, okay,
think I
so
really cry if I found that it was just one semicolon after 3 days.
yes. Bro, you have like a whole existential crisis. You're just like, I should just quit. I'm gonna become a plumber or something like that, man. I should have never became a programmer.
Um,
So then for the conditional logic, I'm gonna go ahead and comment out these console logs just so that they don't show because we already did these, but it'll keep them in here. And this have access to these. So now we're gonna write a simple conditional logic. So you're gonna say if, and
does
then
that have to be capital or does it matter?
yeah, it does matter. You'll want the I to be lowercase. Perfect. And you can do a space, parentheses.
And that way I have all my things covered.
And then you're gonna say person dot is chilling. And then after the last, parenthesis, now you can do curly brackets like it's an object. And then hit enter. All right, perfect. So whatever you put inside of these parentheses, this is the value that it's going to check to see whether or not it's true, or your condition in the conditional logic. So if whatever you put inside of here is true, if condition true, do this. So whatever you put inside of these curly brackets now, if whatever you put into the condition is true, it will now execute this. So then here you can say console.log.
Down here.
Yeah, on line 27, because we're still inside of the conditional.
Oh.
All right, good. Hit preview. Yep, and then you'll do double quotes, and then you'll say it's probably SAC.
Parentheses, not parentheses, the apostrophe or no?
You can do an apostrophe, yeah.
Spaces too? Or one?
Yeah, spaces, yeah, just like a normal sentence.
Good Lord.
Perfect. Now, on line 28, so you'll notice now we're outside of the curly brackets. You're going to say right here, else. And then space, and then curly brackets again. And then hit enter. Now, so for this, if condition is false, do
Probably
this.
not.
Yep, and then you can just say console.log and be like, it's probably not SAC. Sake. Perfect. And then put the little semicolon. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So this should, run just fine. So, okay. So if now I'll clear the terminal out. Oops. There. All right. So if you go back to the terminal, and you can run the node space, and then you'll do the index.ts again. Yep, and you can run it. There we go. Perfect.
Mm.
And then watch if you were to say, so I'm going to copy what you have right here, and then we're going to change these around. So on line 21, I'm going to just change this SAC object. And then I'm going to say, crash out object. I say crash, first name crash, last name out. Hey, the homie Jeremiah. Here we go. Yep, first name crash, last name out. Age, I don't know, 100. But we'll change.
You guys are crashing out.
That Mike.
Facts.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Jeremiah?
Cool thing.
What's up, Michael?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I just did some work for school. I have a meeting a little bit later, but I want to pop in and see what's happening here.
Oh, solid. Perfect, man. Appreciate you popping in. Jeremiah, Sack.
Nice
What's
to meet
going
you.
on, Jeremiah?
Oh,
you
no.
had a meeting for the school thing?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's dope.
Yeah, you're
we're
learning some
doing
JavaScript right now?
Yeah, we're doing conditional logic, data types, and then objects right now.
Oh, nice.
Yes, sir. So we're doing, let's see, if we do sac object. Yep. Okay, perfect. So does this make sense so far, sac? Everything? How it's like sac object. All I did was just change the name and then we made another one right here.
Yeah, so basically it'll treat everything that you put under my name as the true statement, and then crash out would basically be the false statement.
Exactly. So
The
if
two
we
different objects, basically.
So we still get it's probably sac because we're still checking the conditional for the
Hmm.
sac object chilling. So now change sac object to crash out object.
This one?
Yep. Perfect. And then you can go back to the terminal and you can run it again.
Node.
Yep, node, and we'll do index.ts. Probably not sac.
So node picks up on the last note that was made.
Yep, exactly. So
Okay.
whenever we make changes into this file, I have my settings where like it automatically saves that to this file, and then so when you run that node index.ts, it runs whatever's inside of here. Perfect. Alrighty, so these are okay. We did pretty good on data types so far. Do you have any questions about any of these so far?
Just confirming knowledge. A variable is pretty much the container or a specific container. Everything in that container would be under like the console log, or pretty much the information you want to input. You break down the information by putting whatever. So like in this case, we did me, so like my name, age, basic information, and then as you list those out, you can put them all within, make them one object with the fancy parentheses. That's what I'm calling them. I'm pretty sure there's names for them, but they're fancy parentheses for now.
Pretty
And then
much.
you can group them all together. You can make a statement false or true. And then numbers, you don't have to put the numbers, you don't have to put the quotations. And then for conditional logic, it's literally as it says, under these circumstances of blase, 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 or in this case, under the circumstances that the object is sac, my name, my age. Under the circumstances that my name is not sac, which would be false, it would be crash out, which is not sac.
Exactly. Yep, you're tracking.
Okay.
Perfect. So then we're gonna do another one. So I'm gonna create a new file. Let's do math.ts. Okay. Okay, cool. Perfect. I brought you to this one. So I'll clear the terminal out. So this will do, we already saw numbers inside of JavaScript. So now we're going to combine numbers with functions. So functions you saw we had this in the previous file, we have this conditional logic, right? So you
Right.
could technically write all of your programs without really using functions and then just like put all the stuff that you wanted to inside of your file. That's a way to do it, but it's not the cleanest way to do it because oftentimes, let's say like if we wanted to be able to check for this, for instance, if somebody is chilling or not, right? Well,
Right.
if you want to use this logic in a different file, you'd have to write all of this code again. Well, that'll get repetitive like real quickly because if you got like 10 different places in your program where you want to be able to do this same kind of check to see, hey, is this person chilling? Then you'll have to rewrite it 10 times, which is redundant. So you can encapsulate or you can like put into a container so that you can reuse it later the logic in your code so that you can reuse it as many times as you want to. You don't have to keep rewriting the thing. So we'll do an example. So let's say we wanted to create some logic to add two numbers together, for instance. So on line 1 right here inside of our new file, math.ts, you're going to write function.
I'm writing function like in actual math class with the F, or
You
type
will, so
out
you
function.
you'll type out the actual word function. And then you'll say space. And then you can say add numbers and then make the N capital. It'll all be one word and it'll just be the capital N.
I'm not doing that.
Perfect. And then you'll do parentheses. And then inside of the parentheses, so whenever you create a parenthesis, just like it's essentially exactly the same, yeah, like functions that you used to do with like the Desmos calculator, where you create a
Uh-huh.
function and then you can pass in the arguments. So for these, you can call them you could call them A and B if you wanted to, but to make it more explicit, let's say just num 1, and then do comma, space, and then you'll say num 2. Perfect. And then after that, you'll do the curly brackets, the fancy squiggly lines
Stay within the parenthesis or outside.
outside. Yep, and you can hit enter. And then right here on line 2, inside of this function, you're going to say return space, and then you'll say num 1 space plus space num 2. Yep, and then semicolon. All right, perfect. So right here, this is you've created your function. So send them add them in. Hit admit. I think it added them in. I just added. There it goes. Hey, what up, Sam Ambrose?
What's up, Mike, bro?
What
What's
is
good,
good?
buddy?
The gang's all here.
Bro, I didn't realize there was a whole coding session going on, bro.
He said, "Yeah, bro. It was kind of ad hoc, but we definitely got the vibes going."
Pretty much.
So let's see here. So, okay, yeah. So function, add numbers. Sam, man, are you on your phone or are you on a laptop, bro?
My laptop. Looks like we're doing JavaScript. Or am I
Yeah,
tripping? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
We doing Java. Do you have VS Code installed?
Nah.
Yeah, you might not hear. I'll send you the link for it.
Yeah, do that.
VS Code download. I got you. VS Code download. Hit copy. Everyone. Okay, cool. I just sent inside the Zoom meeting.
Sweet. I see it.
Perfect. Okay, and then has explicit type any. That is fine. Okay, yeah. You can download that, and then I'll walk you through being able to join in the session.
All
Let's see
right.
here.
Me and
So
my
then,
laptop just in case.
so on line 4, so you can go on line 4 or even on line 5.
Mhm.
And you're gonna now what you're gonna do is you're gonna type console.log. Yep, and then you'll do the parentheses. And then now inside of our parentheses, now you're going to type the name of this function right here, add numbers. And then you'll do the parentheses.
Come down to where you're at.
No, we're still same place where you are. You'll do another set of 2 parentheses. Yep, except you'll want to put them right after the S, but before this parenthesis.
Oh, so stay within the initial ones.
Mm-hmm. Yep, perfect. And then, so we created these 2 things right here. So these are called the arguments for our function. So again, in the exact same way, like when you do Desmos, you create the different variables or arguments that you can pass into your function. This is like just declaring our function. So it's kind of creating like the skeleton for it. And we're saying, hey, we're going to pass in 2 numbers. The first one's going to be called num1. The first one's going to be called num2. Our function has no idea what those numbers are going to be. And that's good because it doesn't matter because we want our add numbers function to be able to add together any 2 numbers. So that's why we use these arguments right here. And then we're just saying, hey, later we're going to pass in num1, num2, and I want you to add them together. So we're making an assumption and we're saying both of these should be numbers and they should get added together. And that's how you get the reusability of a function to where you can reuse this exact same function in multiple different places instead of having to write this all the time.
Hey, Michael, I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Um, for the variables, when you create a function, do you have to declare them like their types?
So because we're using TypeScript, you could declare them, but you don't have to. So that's actually why VS Code, it's yelling at me right now. It says it has an implicit any. So if we wanted to declare the types, we could say go like this, and then it would tell it that they're numbers, but you don't necessarily have to. It's valid JavaScript if you just do it without them.
All right.
But it is good to declare the types though, because if you don't, it makes debugging easier when you do declare your types. Without the types, it can sometimes be a nightmare. That's when you got to what we were doing yesterday, where you got to put like the debuggers and the console logs everywhere.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
you're like, bro, where's the value going wrong?
Yeah, it's important to label the variables, right? Oh,
For sure.
do you have to you can just declare them in the function and then use them with console log?
Yep, you sure can.
Okay.
Let me see here. Where are we? Line 5. So then if on line 5, inside of those, yep, those parentheses, right? Exactly where you are, Zach. You can just put any two numbers, just separate them with a comma. Yep, perfect. And then put a semicolon at the very end. Yep. And then you're going to save this. So now if you go back to the our terminal on the bottom. And this is
Node
so I
or
yeah, we put this in a different folder. So if you type ls in the terminal, it'll show you everything that's in the current folder. And you can hit enter. Let's do CD. It just stands for change directory or change folder. And you'll do space and then do period, period, forward slash. Yep, and hit enter. Do ls again. Okay, so now you'll see there's this functions folder. And then you'll see right here, this shows you what current file you're in. So we're JavaScript functions folder, and then it's math.ts. So you're going to say CD again to change folders, and then space, and you're going to type functions, and then hit enter to go into the functions folder. Yep, and then hit ls. So that's the name of the file. So you can do node math.ts.
all one.
You'll do a space between node. Yep, and then math.ts. Yep, Nick, you did enter. Perfect. So you hit a error. So this is your first error that you have, and you're going to be able to debug. So if you take a look, it says reference error right here, and that's because it means that we did something wrong in our program, and it's trying to give you a hint about what it did. So you see it's giving you the little point log right here, and it said
Right.
reference error, add numbers is not defined. So your program in Node is telling you, hey, you're trying to call this add numbers function. I have no idea what your add numbers function is. So take a look at it, and then even in your VS Code, there's probably a red squiggly. So if you hover over it, I'm gonna give you I'll give you a little bit of time to see if you can see what's wrong. It's something small, but it's very hard to catch. And I'll give you a hint. Check the way because we declare it and then we use the function. Check the way that they're spelled. That's it. Yep. So then if we clear the terminal and then we try to run it again.
What did I just do? Node. That's
you put it-
crazy.
You put an extra D at the end.
Yeah, D. My finger slipped on that one.
You good? Perfect.
7.
Yep. So you did 2, 5, added them together. We got 7.
Nice.
Perfect. Yep. And you got to do a little bit of debugging as well with the reference area. So literally, bro, like I'll tell you, like literally whenever I'm coding on the job, I'll get one of these and then I'm like, ah, damn, what the hell did I do? And then like you just got to sit here and look at it. Right. Like, so hopefully if it's like a very clear error like this, you'll be like add numbers. And then like, especially when you'll be looking at a computer screen, bro, for like 4 hours, you'll be like, add numbers.
Yeah.
Nah, that's totally cool. Yeah, okay, add numbers. And you look, but you're not seeing that like you missed that capitalization. You're like, what do you mean you don't know what add numbers is? This is literally add numbers. And then like you're gonna look at it for 3 hours and then realize you misspelled something, then you're gonna question your life decisions.
Question mark decision save.
Facts. That's
No,
more
that makes
specific.
sense.
Clear. So now that we did that, so because you did that and you've put this into a function, now we can reuse this, right? So we'll keep that original console log. So on line 8, you can do another, you do it literally the exact same way, or you can copy and paste it, you can type it out however you want to, and then you'll do the exact same thing. Console log, add numbers, and then you'll just use a different set of numbers.
Let's do
Sick. Alrighty. Yeah. So yep, you'll save, yep, and then you'll run it node math.ts. Nice. Yep. So first one's still there, 7, and then yep, 13 plus 25. Yep, 38. Perfect.
so function. Is there, how do I word it? Is there a different, what would be the difference between creating a function and the conditional statements? Other than the fact that functions, it looks like you can just replug in the same concept, like with the console log, and then the
Mm-hmm.
conditional statements, it would be like going back to like that object. Um, it's more so gathering all that information and saying, as long as this is true, then blase blase, and then this is false. But
Yes.
you have to keep re-putting that in. Is that the only difference? Or
Yeah, so you can technically think of an if statement as a function that's kind of built into JavaScript.
Mhm.
Already, that's probably the wrong like technical way for me to conceptualize it. But I mean, like in terms of practicalities, that's really what it is. You've got this keyword that's already reserved. It says if you pass this in, and then whatever you put here is what it does. So I mean, you honestly you can think about it that way. The if statement, it's like an already created function that you're allowed to use. And there's multiple ones that are like that inside of JavaScript. So like
Mhm.
this is if you were like, hey, I want to check if something does this, do this code. Else, if that's false, then do this other thing. There's a bunch of these kind of built-in functions to JavaScript already. I can give you another example. One of them would be, we do another one if we do like switch dot ts, and then you say, let's do const uh breakfast equals eggs and bacon.
Still crying.
Const lunch equals ham sandwich, and then say const dinner equals meatloaf. Yeah, then const let's say time is equal to we'll just represent it as a number just to be easy. So we'll do military time. So let's say
10 would be 22.
all right, so
8
10
would
would be
be 20.
22. 10 a.m. would be just 10 though, right?
Yeah, 10 is just 10.
Okay, 10, cool. So we'll do 10. So we'll say time is 10. So that you could do a switch statement like this. So you'll say switch, and then on line 7,
Mhm.
let's do, let me remember how switch statements go in. Switch JavaScript. You will say switch. Okay, so do a parentheses. Yep, and then in the parentheses, you can say time. And then outside of the parentheses, you'll do the curly brackets and then hit enter. And then say case space 10 colon enter. And then say console.log.
Yeah. So I'm
Stay
actually
typing
switching over to
out.
the IT stuff before I
Console. There you go.
How do I do
Console.
that?
Yeah, it's the autocomplete. It tried to guess what it was that you were typing, but it got it
Oh,
completely wrong. So let's do say breakfast. So you'll say breakfast in there.
You ready?
Jonathan, where are you, honey?
Yep, perfect. Because that's our breakfast value up here. So then you'll say a semicolon, hit enter,
Yeah, that's
and then hit say break, and then do semicolon. Enter. We'll do backspace, and then say case space, and then say 14.
hit 14. Say who?
Yeah, case 14,
14.
colon. And then yeah, we'll do the same thing. So you'll do console.log, and this will be lunch, and then you'll do the same break afterwards. Is not comparable to type 10. We'll worry about that later. Yep, break. Cool. And then we'll do another, we'll do one more. You do case space, and then yeah.
4 hours. So 18.
Yeah, perfect. Colon.
That's totally.
That's so true. That is
Yep,
so
perfect.
true.
I'll say
Gotta do a break.
Yep, you'll do break.
Yeah, this will be
Perfect. So then this should run. It's not like in the comparison that we're doing in TypeScript, but I think this will still run. So let's say clear ls. Okay, so yeah, so in our terminal, do node and then just do a switch.ts.
Yep. I'm going home. Out of nowhere. I'm moving out. Sounds like you're doing
Perfect.
what?
Okay. So because we set the time to 10 a.m., it checked and it was like, okay, we're gonna look at our time variable that we have. If it's 10, we'll do breakfast. 14, we'll do lunch. If it's 18, we'll do dinner. And then I know there's so you'll add another line after 18, so hit enter.
Before the bracket. Or the other
Yep.
thing.
Perfect. And then instead of case, so we'll say default now. Default and then colon.
On this line,
Uh-huh.
default colon.
Yep. And then you'll hit enter.
Exactly.
And then you'll say console.log. Yep. And then we'll do the parentheses, and then we can do double quotes inside. And inside of here, you can say, I guess you're not eating because that's the default. Yep, perfect. And you can do a semicolon at the end. Solid. Okay, so now because we're doing this switch to check for these three cases, the default will be, I guess you're not eating. Now you can play around with time, so I'll change it to one of these other cases instead of it being 10 on line 5.
$14.
Yep, perfect.
And then come down here.
Yep, you'll go to the terminal and then you can run it again. Perfect. And then if you were to do, so that's how the case works is it checks whatever you put inside of this little conditional check, your expression. It compares it to each of your cases, and then it'll execute whatever code is inside of the case. So if it matches case value, do this. Break is just how you tell it.
That you're done with that specific information.
Yeah, done with this specific case. And then default is if it don't hit none of these, then do this by default.
Exactly.
Is this how they made alarms? That's funny.
Yeah, I was about to say this is kind of similar to how the logic would be. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
And so you've seen Switch, right? We didn't create Switch anywhere. Switch just kind of automatically worked. Same thing with if. We didn't create a function called if. If just kind of automatically works out of the box. Now, when it came to
Right.
add numbers is different. So we had to say function, add numbers, tell it what add numbers is, but these kind of built-in things like if, switch. So there's a bunch of those kind of built-in functions, really to every programming language, but just specifically for this with JavaScript, there's certain things like checking, hey, if the value is true, if the value is false, that are like that's just it's such a common thing that you do in programming that they give you a bunch of functions kind of out of the box to be able to run and to execute to make your programs.
Okay, I'm understanding.
Let's see. We got, I know there's another one. Another good one we can do is files. If we do node create text file basic. Okay. So this is a cool one. So this isn't built into JavaScript, but it is built into Node, which is the thing that allows us to be able to run our JavaScript in here. So one of the things that you can do is you can create files using your programming language. So if you type in here, you're going to say import. Yep, and you can do space. And you're going to say fs space. And you're going to say from space. And then you can do double quotes and then say fs.
Yeah.
Yep, and then do a semicolon. Nice. Now hit enter. And then hit enter again. And then let's say in this text file, you're going to say var space file content, all one word with a capital C.
Yeah.
Yep, perfect space. And now say equals
Yeah.
space. Yep, and then you'll do the double quotes.
Yeah.
And then you can put whatever text you want to in there because we're gonna save it to just like a basic text file.
You just have to be.
Perfect. And then hit enter twice. So FS, this is another one of those built-in functions that comes with Node. The FS, it stands for file system. So it's a bunch of functions that are built in that allow you to be able to like read files on a computer. You can create files on a computer. So we'll do one of the file creations. So on line 5, you can say FS dot write file, and the F will be capital, all one word.
Right with a W or a
Yeah, right with a W.
just want to make sure.
Yes, sir. Right
Yep,
file.
capital.
Yep, perfect. And then you're gonna do parentheses. You'll do double quotes. And then whatever you want the name of your file to be, and then dot txt.
Gotcha. You said TXT?
Yes, sir. Nice. So then you'll do, yeah, just a little comma right after the little double quotes right here. Yep, perfect. So now do a space, do another set of parentheses. And then inside of these parentheses, you're going to say content, colon, or comma, space, and then you're going to say ERR, which stands for error. Then you're going to go hit the right arrow one time, space, and then do equal, and then the greater than symbol. So it makes an arrow. Yep, perfect. And then you'll hit space, And then you do the curly brackets. Yep, and then hit enter. Okay, perfect. So what this is saying is it's saying, hey, import FS or import the file system function that's already built into Node. Then you're creating another variable, which is a container. You're saying skinny dude. So it's a string. And then we're using the file system code that we just imported. And we're saying, hey, we want to go ahead and create a file. And you'll see it brings up like a basic description. So it goes when file is a file name, asynchronously writes data to the file, replacing the file if it already exists. Data can be a string or a buffer. So just a fancy way of saying that when you call this first thing that you pass in, this function argument, this is the name of the file, and then you're going to pass in the contents. So we're going to say hit enter. And actually, oh, my bad. Hold on. Get rid of the parentheses. Sorry, I did that a little bit wrong. You can get rid of the parenthesis right here, just the first parenthesis, and we're just going to move it over. Yep, delete that. Yep, and then you're going to put it right before the E in error. There we go. Perfect. And then replace content with file content. So the same name as our variable we have right here on line 3. Okay, perfect. So now we have 3 arguments to our function. So we're calling write file. So all 3 of these things, the smooth text, file content, and then these parentheses with the error function thing right here. All 3 of these are arguments that are getting passed to this function. So the first one right here is us telling it, hey, this is what we want you to name the file. File content right here, we're saying this is what we want to pass into the file. So this is going to be your string right here, the skinny dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And then this third one, this right here, this is just another way to be able to create a function inside of JavaScript. So it's the same as if you did like function like this, like we did with add numbers. It's just another way that you can create functions inside of JavaScript. Some people prefer to use the little arrow thing, but it's just saying, hey, when an error happens or if an error happens, here is how our program should handle it. And then we'll keep it right there. Okay, cool. So now we're going to tell our program how to handle it. So then you're going to say if
On 7.
Yeah, if and then yeah, lowercase I.
Yeah.
Yep, and then you'll do the parentheses. And then inside of the parentheses, you're going to say error. So the ERR, this argument that we had. Yep, perfect. And then after the parentheses, you'll do the curly brackets again. Yep, hit enter. And then you're going to say inside here, up on line 8, you're going to say console.error.
ERR.
Yep.
Yeah.
ERR. Sorry. You'll do the full error word right there.
Gotcha.
Yep. And then parentheses. And then inside of the parentheses, you'll say ERR. And then after the curly bracket right here on line 9, you'll do a space. And then you're going to say else space in the curly brackets. Hit enter. And then right here, you're going to say console. And then we'll let me put a comment here for you real quick. And we're going to say file was, or if file was created successfully, do this. Yep. And then you can keep going. Yeah, you can do console.log. Parentheses. You can say in the double quote strings, you can say file was created successfully.
Capital or spaces
Yeah, you can do
or
spaces.
capital letters.
It'll
Okay.
be, yeah, you can do spaces, and then you'll do the double quote surrounding it because it'll be a string.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Perfect. Alrighty. So then if we did everything properly, we should be able to just run this. So if you go back to your terminal, you can run a node, and then this is called files.ts. Yep, and you hit enter. And let's see what we did. All right, so let's read what we got. So it says node,
Not
warning,
specified.
that module of type files.ts is not specified and doesn't contain parse as a common JS. Okay, so that's fine. That's just so it's just a warning. So if you get an error when you're writing your program, so there's really like kind of two different classifications when you get pop-ups like this. One of them is warnings. So warnings are normally when they're saying, hey, this is something you might want to check that could cause you a problem, but it's not going to break, it's not going to necessarily break your program. We just want to make you aware of it. So you'll see it's prefaced with that warning. Module of type, yeah, is not a, so it's because of the way we imported this. So there's multiple ways to be able to bring in functions like this inside of JavaScript. This is totally fine. This works. It's just
Right.
letting you know, hey, you might want to do it the other way. Reparsing as ES module because syntax was stated. This preferred at performance overhead. Blah 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 blah. Okay, yeah. So it's just a light warning. But you'll notice now if you look over at our files on the left hand side, there's a new file in here. So smooth.txt, which is the name of the file that you created. And let's see if it. Yep, perfect. Worked.
Solid.
Yep, that worked perfectly. So if you were creating a so true story, this is the kind of stuff whenever I'm doing like back end web development that I have to do at my job all the time. So like when I was doing the work with the law firm, one of the
Yeah.
things that we would have to do is let's say like we got this huge database of people that we work with, right? And so sometimes what they'll do is we'll take a CSV file, and I remember there's a team that I would work with, and they would be like, hey, let's say there's a whole list of companies that work in the health space, right? Like you've got a bunch of healthcare clients, and they go, our team wants to be able to see all of the different healthcare clients that we as lawyers are working with. We want to be able to like add some notes to it and stuff like that inside of an Excel spreadsheet. And so can you give us an output of all of the healthcare clients that we have? You can be like, oh yeah, absolutely. So this is very similar to the kind of code that you would be writing, right? This is like pseudo code, but you'd be doing like get all, or we could say var, right? Get all clients or healthcare clients from database,
Mm-hmm.
boom, and then we'll say var healthcare clients is equal to get all healthcare clients from database. We would have a function get all healthcare clients from database, boom. Here would be code to get clients from DB database. So then, right, we could, and this is like I said, this is an example of stuff that you'd be doing on the job is you'll call your function, you'll be like, okay, yeah, let me go ahead and get all the healthcare clients from the database, get all those healthcare clients. You're going to put them inside of this variable called healthcare clients. And then you'd be like, right, fs dot write file healthcare clients dot what would it be like Excel SX. I think that's the file extension for an Excel spreadsheet. And then exact same thing, right? Healthcare clients, you pass that in, and then right, so on and so forth. So it'd be almost exactly the same way. So obviously, right, like you got to like tell it what columns and stuff. So there's like a little bit more detail, but conceptually,
Mhm.
this is essentially what you would be doing when you're doing back end development. So it's just a more advanced version of this right here. But that's really like a lot of the basics right there.
Gotcha. So pretty much this is covering like if you're moving or creating a file and what with your example, you already have the information, you just want it smoother way. Obviously, the more specific, the better. It would create the file and then pull in all that information from whatever database you guys already have.
Exactly.
Okay. That's pretty legit.
Yeah, isn't it, bro? And I'm telling you, bro, it's like it's when you start like realizing the things you can create with it, bro. Like it gets like crazy. I remember I sat with somebody one time. So in the same way you can pull in this code right here, and you can like write files like this. So there's different like code libraries that you can pull in to do all kinds of things, bro. This is how like you can send emails from code from like your Gmail inbox if you wanted to. You can send text messages to people from code right here. So like one time, like I was walking somebody through code like this, and I was like, "Oh, watch this." So we went online. We created a file that contained like the entire script for the B movie, and then we pranked somebody
Oh
by we
wow.
just Yeah, bro. We literally we did a call like this where we were like, "Hey, read all the text in this file," and then we just sent. So it was like spamming them like the entire script of the B movie just on automate, and they were like, "What?" They're like their phone just started randomly blowing up.
Nah,
You,
bro, y'all are foul.
you can do crazy stuff, bro. It's hilarious.
Okay.
So do you have any? You got any questions about this so far?
No,
Might need to show
everything's
me that text
making.
thing.
Oh, what were you saying, Sam? My bad.
So you might need to show me that text thing you were just talking about, bro.
Yeah, I got you. I got you, bro. I think I still got the code, bro. I'll send it to you.
That
What were you saying, Sec?
On my end, everything's making sense. I gotta jump.
Yeah, go do your
This
thing,
was
bro.
actually perfect timing. 'Cause I gotta jump. I gotta head over to Pastor Corey's for premarital counseling. So
Perfect, my boy. Well, go do your thing, man.
it's they're at what is it, Mystic Court?
Yeah, if you're in Northtown, that's
modern
probably
court.
close.
You said who?
It's modern court. I got some
I don't know
over.
why I said Mystic, Majestic.
I'm
I get it wrong every time. Cool.
in tears.
Easy. But yeah, bro, definitely appreciate you taking out the time, brother man.
Bro,
This is all
anytime,
making
man.
sense so far.
Like I said, it's helpful for me, bro. I need to do this more often. So like I said, literally anytime you wanna hop on, like I said, unless I'm like literally in the middle of like a work thing and I can't, bro, like literally
Yeah,
anytime, bro.
How long
absolutely.
you, how long you gonna be available, Mike, bro?
For a while, honestly, bro.
That because I got to swing over with Fat over there to help the boys get their system set up, and then I'm gonna come back
Okay, yeah.
because I
Say
also got to
less.
get the app you downloaded. You had me download set up too.
Yes, and I'll show you how to connect so that you'll be able to do it at the same time, the same way me and Zach were. So yeah, bro, just shoot me a text message or you'll probably have a better chance giving me a call because when I'm like
I
sitting there
know. I
coding
don't
and
even
stuff,
know
I
why
got
you
my
said
headphones on.
shoot you a text message, bro.
Yeah,
I did that
you
before I joined the call. Like, hey, is it too late? Got nothing. I was like, all right, I'm gonna just
you
join.
you want to know what's a really easy way to reach me though is if you FaceTime because when I get calls that only goes to my phone, but I'm